Okay, we're starting our session. So this night, what we plan to do is to finish everything about project planning. Project planning, we have a lot of things which comes together with it, like all these Gantt charts, part analysis, critical path method. They are part of project planning. And then brainstorming. Sorry, not brainstorming. What they call it again?
Baselining.
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 Yeah, baselining is part of the activities. So it should be the last stage of project planning. Once that is done, we should be able to complete the first phase of it. The project planning is a continuous activity, but once you finish the first step, you have to baseline it and you continue that way. So we have to finish this so that you know that by next week, you can start your project and you can start your planning immediately. You don't say that there is something remaining you don't know how to do. So that's why I want us to finish this so that by next week, we should be starting our first project and we should be able to plan from beginning to the end without any interruption. So let's have a look. So let's start from understanding what baseline is in project planning. The baseline is the initial project plan, which will be used as a reference for the future. It is used mostly to measure the real performance of the project against the initial schedule. So when you finish planning a project, creating a full project plan with whichever software you are using, the baseline is like capturing the original project plan, which is now going to be a reference point. You save that project plan. If you have not baseline the project plan, you didn't save that project plan. Any changes can, you can make any more changes in that project, and you might not really be able to track the original plan from subsequent changes. So that is the reason we have baseline. So it means that whenever there is a change in that project plan, it's no longer the original project plan, it's another version. So it's like for project managers, we call it baselining. But for software developers, we call it versioning. It's just like when you finish building a software, that particular software, you call it version 1. Every software must versioning. So if you add anything to that particular software, somebody is not on mute. So Eric, please mute yourself. So after building a software and you've not versioned it, we call it version control. Version 1, any update you add or change you add to that particular software is going to be another version. It can be version 2 or version 1.2 or version 1.3. It depends on whichever way you want to create. But the point here is that it's no longer the original software you created initially. Some people tend to do it that way, so that you keep on saving the softwares. So that original version 1, will still be there. And the second one, which is version 1.2 or version 2, will still be there. So at times, some people will they are comfortable, you can use version 2, and you are not happy with version 2. You can say, well, I want to go back to my original version. You can still go back to version 1. That's why I have different versioning. It equally happen in project planning. We call it baselining. First baseline, you can baseline up to 10, depending on software like Project Labor. I know can give you opportunity to baseline your project up to 10 baselining, kind of up to 10 baseline in your project plan. So that is simply what baselining is. When you finish creating, you save. Once you save it, the cost, original timeline, everything, resource allocation will be saved. If tomorrow you decide to change the timeline, maybe from 1 month to 2 months, if you save it, it's not going, that changes will not show. You have to create another, you need to rebaseline it. It's going to be the second baseline. So if somebody wants to audit your project, the first thing they want to know is to look at your baselining. If you have had up to 4 baseline in your project, you must have a reason why you have up to 4 baseline in your project. So if you want to have any change after baselining a project, you must have a reason for another change, and it must be approved. So if you are not done with your project plan, don't baseline it. Because once it's baseline, it has to be approved. Once it's approved, it means you are done with your project plan and ready to start implementing that project using that project plan. So that's just simple way of understanding the baseline. And if we go to, like you see here, in project, you can have as many up to 10 baseline. You can set the baseline at the most important project milestone whenever there is a big change. Also, you can set project baseline only for selected tasks. And so it depends on the way you want to, for me, the best thing is to baseline the whole project. But it's flexible if you want to do it, manage selected tasks or milestone. For instance, if you just want to baseline the initial stage, the initiate or the define stage, if you want to be baselining them, it's up to you. But the best practice is that you have to plan your whole full project and then baseline it. So then you must have captured the full project cycle, the full project duration, and baselining. So if there is any change, it's flexible. That's why they know there is always changes. That's why we have up to 10 opportunity for you to make amendment or for you to change and accept changes from stakeholders. You can incorporate changes. So that's why we have up to 10 baseline in a project. So it's very simple. It's just to save your work. And if you want to add something, then you need to add something and save it again. So let's go to project labor and see how to do this. It's very easy. So we're not going to waste much time here, and we'll have another thing we'll look at after this. We are now sharing project labor. Can you see project labor? I'm talking. Can you hear me? Let me start from.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Can you see project labor?
Yes, sir.
yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, now this is project labor, and for me, I think I'm done with this my project plan. I've captured these two stages, and for me, I believe this is for purpose of teaching. That doesn't mean that you are only going to capture two phases of your project. You know how many phases you have in your project. So, okay. In this, I'm done, and I'm ready to submit this project plan to the program manager for approval. So the project manager cannot approve your project if the project is not baseline. So all I need to do here is to baseline my project. So to do that, you go to tax here. If you go to tax here, you can just see here. You can create a baseline and later decide if you have, for instance, if you are planning a project, the first initial project, you baseline it and you find out there is a mistake. Mistake is different from that you are changing your baseline. So if there is a mistake, you can clear the baseline, correct your mistake, and rebaseline it. So this is where you capture baseline. Once you do this, you see entire project. You have captured the entire project. You see entire project. You click OK. You save this entire project. It's baseline. Okay. If you want to baseline a particular tax, let's say this, I'll click on this and I'll say baseline. You see, I selected a tax here, and this has given you, see, this is, I can, I want to baseline this particular project brief. I can just do that. So, but if you did not select any activity here, you didn't select anything and want to baseline, see baseline here. You see,
Mr. Charles, I don't think I can see it. I don't know if it's just me.
I asked this question, can you see everybody say yes?
I can see from here.
Everybody said yes, and I started. You
Maybe
can
you should
see,
check your network.
then check your network. So, and
No, what I mean is I can see your cursor moving, but I don't see what you're clicking. I know that's what I'm saying.
can you people see what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Then you check
You
your
should
network.
zoom it.
zoom this in so that it
Yes, sir,
starts.
we can see
There,
it.
there is need
I
to
have
zoom
zoomed
it,
it.
sir. There is need to
No,
zoom it.
So that we can see it.
the cursor is moving, but I cannot see what is going
Exactly.
on.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
it's not showing.
The cursor is moving, but what is clicking? I can't see it. If
It's
you can
not
see it,
You
but
can't
showing.
I
see
can't see
you
it.
cannot see project labor.
I can't see it from my own end.
Project Libre is there, but
Then
the
is
box
your
at the
network.
center
I
is
can
not
see the
showing.
project Libre and everything, but the prompts that you're clicking is not visible to me. That's what I'm trying to
It's
say.
too tiny. I think that's what
Just
he's
This
saying.
is
highlighted
a
it.
full
Exactly.
screen.
The item,
It's
the
not too
item you are
tiny.
looking
I've
is not
zoomed
visible,
in
sir.
and
What
out. I
he's
can
saying
zoom my
is
screen.
valid. What he's saying is valid.
He just
What he's saying is
highlighted
valid.
it.
All of you have been speaking. I don't know what we are talking about. If this one is talking, this
Sir,
one is
there's a prompt. When you clicked on the baseline, a prompt, I guess a prompt popped up that you clicked OK, but all those prompts, I can't see them. That's what I'm trying to say.
so if you have a project labor, just click on baseline, you see the prompt because there's nothing I can do about it.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
cannot zoom, it's not zoomable, it's just a dialog box. So if you click on basically dialog box will come in, and in that dialog box is going to ask you either choose entire project or please. So there's a lot of noise from background. Because if you cannot see, you should be able to hear. So, like I said, if you want to baseline the entire project, you don't need to select any specific task. So leave it. So all you need to do is go to save baseline. You click on that, a dialog box will come. And in this baseline, you have to choose, like we see here, you have up to 10 baseline. If you are saving, it has to be first baseline, second baseline. You need to save the particular baseline, which and you know which one you are saving. So have up to 10 baseline. So once you select the baseline you are saving, you click OK, and you save. You have your first baseline saved. Means you have saved your first version of your project plan, and then you are ready for approval. Once that is done, once it's approved, you start. If you want to save a particular phase, let me save this. You see, I'm going to select all the activities or tasks in this initiate stage and baseline it. So once I've done that, I will go to baseline and you see selected tasks. I will click on this and I can choose to save it as first baseline. And you see, come over here, you click OK. You click OK, you saved. And it's no big deal. That's it. It's just for you. Baselining is just for you to save your work as a version. So the main thing is for you to see the baseline icon. After saving and you don't want, yes.
Nothing is changing, sir. So nothing is changing.
So we don't see anything you did.
I think if you're not, we won't be able to see the dialog boxes that are popping up.
Can you say that again?
If you're not sharing your whole screen, we won't be able to see.
How do you know I'm not sharing my whole screen?
If you're sharing
your whole screen,
you may not share the entire screen. You may decide to just share one of your screens.
I'm sharing my full screen. I'm not sharing part of my screen.
That's not the issue. He's sharing his full screen.
And is this
I
is
think
the screen I've
the
been using to teach this project labor?
Sir,
So nothing changed. I didn't change anything.
sir, this is not just happening. I just didn't want to talk since. I also noticed the day you taught us Project Libre, and I felt it was my network. But when I went back to watch the recorded video of the Project
Exactly.
Libre, it was the same thing. The dialogue boxes were not
Showing.
showing. So it is
Exactly.
not just something that is happening today. It has always
Okay,
been like
okay.
Exactly.
This is
The
a
way someone is talking, 100%.
this is a software, this is a what do they call it? A desktop application. Is not a web application. So when you are working on desktop application at times, some of these things happen. So it's but we can capture images and share it and write note about it if you are not seeing it. So if you go to the note I captured, you see I captured it as a screenshot, and I will maybe use arrow to make a note about it. But this is the best I can do. There's nothing much I can do if you are not seeing it. Yeah, but I've been doing this, or it means all the dialogue boxes, I will not be seeing it before. Or have we not been watching the videos?
The dialog boxes have not been appearing.
we've not been seeing it.
It's
They've
just the
not been
some of
appearing.
them.
But what we
When
use
you
is
after
your
clicking on the menu
explanation.
option, the other ones to complete it, you cannot see them.
Okay.
But don't worry,
Anyway,
sir, since you're also talking, it helps us when we are watching the recorded video. It let us know what to expect. So once we are practicing on our own and it comes up on our screen, so we know that, okay, this is what we were meant to see, and we just follow the prompts.
well, if any of these button you click, like this baseline, is just a small dialog box where you are going to select the baseline and select the entire project and click OK. That is the only thing here. And if you have highlighted the task here you want to baseline, if you want to baseline, you click on Save the Baseline. A dialog box will come. You select entire task and you click OK. So that is what you are missing. There is nothing much you are missing. So if you go to the note where I captured the screenshots, you will see the dialog box there. So screen sharing, it happens at times like that. It might not capture extra layer. What the screen sharing is just to capture a layer. Some of them capture the first layer of the screen. So once you capture the first layer of the screen, when you click, the dialog box comes in. This another layer of the screen. It might not be capturing the second layer of the screen. So these are we might not be getting everything from the technology, but yeah. So that is it about baselining. With this, even without sharing screen, it's very simple. You should be able to follow the prompt, and as you are clicking, it's prompting you to do one thing or the other. You can follow the prompt, so and do it. It's not a complex application or advanced project. It's just very simple. But thank you for speaking up. So that is it about baselining. So I think for now we are done with baselining, and we have to go to another activity about this. It's just the second activity is just to help us maximize the use of this project labor. We're going to look at calendar in project labor. Like what I said here, if you see this screenshot that I captured here, you can see this dialog box. Can you see the dialog box?
Yes, sir. The dialog box.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
For those
Yes,
who
sir.
couldn't see it, for those who couldn't see it in the video, this is how the dialog box is. So if you want to baseline, you click on baseline here, it will bring up this small dialog box. In the dialog box, you have the opportunity to select. If you click on this baseline, you see drop down here. If you click on it, it will give you opportunity to select baseline, the baseline you are doing, either number 1 baseline or 2 or 3 up to 10. You have opportunity to capture up to 10 baseline. And then meaning that you have to can save up to 10 project version, different version of this project plan. And then if you want to save the entire, you select this entire project and you click OK, and that's it. But if you want to save certain tasks or a phase, like if you want to save this initiate phase of this project, you can select all the tasks in this initiate phase. And once you select them, I want to save, you click save from this save baseline. It will give you opportunity to select selected tasks, and you then save the selected tasks. But if you did not select any of these tasks and you want to save, this selected task icon is not going to come live. It's just going to remain dormant like this. It's not going to be active. But once you select, it's going to become active, and from then you can save the selected task. So that is the only thing you couldn't see. But like I said, when you are sharing a screen, at times it's difficult to see the extra layer, more especially if you are working on desktop app. It's more easy, it's easier to see everything if you are working, if you are working on web app from browser. Like now, if I'm working from browser now, it might be easier to capture everything if I'm if I'm sharing my screen. But application, web application, desktop application are those applications saved on my application, saved on my laptop. It might be difficult to share extra layer, which is some of these dialog boxes. So, and if you are equally sharing your mobile device on your laptop, you can do that, but you need to have an integration which you can use. What's the name? We have this VSAW. VSAW is an application. It's a mobile application. For instance, if you want to share your mobile phone on your Ladis, you can use Visual. Once you install Visual and integrate Visual with your laptop, you should be able to be sharing. So some of these things, this is the way it works. But in terms of desktop app, that has been some of the challenges I noticed. Sharing the extra layer. Some of these desktop app can have up to 4 layers, which that if you open this dialog box, some of them, if you click on dialog box, it's going to open another dialog box. And if you click on that, it can open up to 5 dialog boxes when you are opening them, which you keep saving. After then, you click, you close all the dialog boxes differently. And that's why in this situation, most cases, what we use to make sure that whomever that is receiving the tutorial captures everything, it just captures screenshots and talk about to make note on the screenshots. Okay. Baselining is not a big deal. We shouldn't take our time so much. So let's dive into calendar in Project Labor. Like we've been planning without calendar, is here you can, it's an optional something you can use if you want to, you can use it. But without calendar, you can still manage your project to schedule, because once you click on the task and the time duration, automatically it is going to pop up a calendar we can use to select and add time as well. So you have many calendar options in Project Labor. You can define your own working and non-working days. So what means is that when you are planning, you can use the calendar to define working days and non-working days. Like if you want to capture bank holiday or public holidays in your project where the team will not be coming to work, to understand the amount of days every team member is going to be available, removing the bank holidays, for instance, if Christmas, Boxing Day, Idel, Muslim feast, Idel, and Indian, this thing, like, there's so many days. For instance, you are working in a multicultural environment where you need to capture different calendar days or things like that, or recognize calendar bank holidays. You can use this calendar to capture some of these. This is where the calendar can come handy. And again, if you plan to work on weekend, automatically when you are planning your project, weekend is excluded from working days. So everything you are working, planning, your default or standard working days are Monday to Fridays. And that is what the project planner will present to you. But if you decide that that weekend is going to be your working days, then you can use calendar to capture that. So that is where this comes handy. So let's start with the basis of editing calendar. Look at here. If we want to see the non-available days when you are planning from this screenshot, you look at this here, you see in this screenshot, we'll still go to Project Labor to do it, but for the fact that It's bringing up dialog box, which you might not see. Let's talk about it here a bit before we go to the project labor. So if you want to capture calendar, you see here, you go to file. When you click on file, you can see calendar. If you click on calendar, calendar can appear. So when you see calendar here, you see all these days on ash. You see 2 working days appeared in white color, and then non-working days, which is weekend, appear in ash color. So this ash has shaded days that we are not supposed to be capturing during a standard. Nobody works. Well, I don't know, but from my own experience, UK, Nigeria, and some other countries, which I know, Monday to Friday is the standard working days. So it's not negotiable. So you're trying to work outside these days, you must have to agree with your worker about that, because it's not that's not the standard. And most of this application recognizes that. So if you want to work outside that, this you have to use calendar to capture it. So, but the standard is, this is it. Looking at this calendar, you see the ash and the white. The ash is the non-working days, Monday, Saturday and Sunday. Then the white colors are the working days. So if you're planning your project, it should be within this. Okay. If you are working on excluded days, some days you want to exclude, you see here, all you need to do is you highlight all those days you want to exclude. For instance, looking at this particular project labor, I want to exclude 28th of August. And once you select in your calendar, you select 28th of August, you go to non-working days. It's going to appear as red and you save it. Once you said okay, in your project plan, it's going to appear that 28th is a non-working day, although it's a working day, but it's a bank holiday, or maybe you don't want to work on those days. So, or if you want to use it to plan for your specific resources, maybe you want to plan for a business analyst, you can try to understand when the business analyst is going on annual leave. So you can understand those days, select those days, and come to your project, highlight them, and save them as non-working days. Once you save them as non-working days, if you look at your project plan, automatically you know that these people are not available for this. So you know the amount of time they will be available. So you will not be, it will help you to make necessary adjustments, knowing that this is the available time this guy have got for work. So that is how to select the excluding days. The excluding days must be from active days, working days. So any day you want to exclude from active days, that is how you do it. From calendar, you highlight it, you save it as a non-working day from the active days. But if you want to including days at calendar. Including days means if you go to the calendar, if you want to start working on weekends, you can come over here. You see here on weekends, you see this dialog box here. You see that I highlighted I want to work on this weekend, 17th and 18th. This coming 17th and 18th, they are weekend. This is Saturday and Sunday. I've highlighted it. It's a non-working days, but I want to include it as working days. I want to work on these days. So once I highlight it and save it, you see here it's already highlighted. It's now changing from ash to white and equally in red, showing that it's a special day, it's a special weekend. And you can equally come here and add the time you want to work on that weekend. If you are working on weekend, you might just say, okay, we're working on weekend, but it's going to be 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and everybody will go home. You come here and you select the time from 8 to this, or whichever time you want, you select it from here and save it. So you make your job more tidy. So, and then defining your own calendar. If you want to create your own calendar, you can create a new calendar, a customized calendar for yourself, depending on the way you choose, you and your team or the organization. You can decide to create a new calendar. To do that, you come over here, you create, you say new, you click new. Once you click new here, another dialog box, like I said, that at times a dialog, we can have up to 4 layers of dialog box. So you're looking at this, another dialog box will appear on the calendar dialog box, where you have to write the name of the new calendar. You create the new calendar, and then you start customizing it, planning it the way you want, selecting the days you want to work and the days you don't want to work. So that is it. And then if you want to define calendar for each resources, like if you want to define calendar for business analysts, have a calendar for project manager, all you need to go is you go to the resources, pay each resource, you click on the resource. Once you click on the resource, a dialog box will come, and within the dialog box, you will see a small calendar here. If you click on this small calendar, it's going to pop up again and bring this calendar. You see another dialog box. Like I said, this now 2 layers of dialog box. From here, you can plan this calendar for this particular, you see here, BA. You plan the calendar for the BA, and that is it. You can select days the BA might be going on leave. And any of these days, you know the days, you highlight on these days that particular professional or resource is going on leave. So mainly, what if you want to plan on resources, it means basically when the person will not be available. So you need to discuss with the person to find out the availability when they are going on annual leave or things like that. When you capture that, you can save that, and that's how you can use the calendar to plan for your resources. And that's it. So having shown it this way, although you are complaining you are not seeing it, but we'll still go there to do it. Whichever one you see, good, but this is a note which is going to be provided for you. So You can work with this note as well and watch the video. By the time you combine the two resources, you should be able to see everything we are talking about. So now I'm going to proceed to Project Labor to start from general calendar and then drill down to specifics. So now we're back to Project Labor and we want to talk about calendar management. So either from this file or from this task, I think if you click on file here, you see this is calendar. You can manage calendar from here. And I think if you click on tasks as well, here you see calendar as well. So, and if you want to manage any specific, like now this is the calendar, this is the problem because you say you are not seeing the dialog boxes. Are you seeing this particular dialog box?
No.
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so well, if you are not seeing the dialog, we already talk about it. We already understand that it's going to be difficult, but anyway, I'm still going to talk about it. So from the dialog box here, we see if for some of you who have your this thing, you can be listening and you can equally open your own Project Labor. So here you have the ash, the days that appear in ash, like Sunday and Saturdays, they are not working days. And days, Monday to Friday, they are not in ash, they are working days. Within these working days, for instance, if we want to select some days we don't want to work, let's say they are public holidays or bank holidays, we want to make sure that we don't plan work on these days. All we need to do is some of those days you highlight on it. If it's 2 days, maybe 13 and 14, you highlight on 13 and 14. For you to do that, I hold on Control button and I can highlight as many as I want. So that's what I'm doing. So I highlighted 3, let's say these 3 days are bank holidays. And if you go to selected all this area, you have to click non-working days, and you click on that, it's going to be appear in ash and in red. Once you've done that, it's going to appear in your project plan that these selected days from working days are bank holiday and you are not working on those days. This is going to make things easier for you, and that is how we can use it to select non-working days. So then if we want to work on weekends, go to calendar. Let's say this weekend I'm planning to have session with you guys, and in my project I want to highlight I'll be working on 18th, 17th and 18th. That's Sunday and Saturday. So I'll just put my control button, I click on 17, I'll click on 18th, and then I will go to non-default working days. I'll click on that. I want to make it working days. I'll click on it, and you see it's going to come off this ash color and become white like others, and equally highlighted in red color because they are special days. And if I want to work like now from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you have to specify the time because it's not a standard working day. It's left for you to specify the time you want to work on these days. So you come from here, if you come down, you see from 2. Then you can add the hours you want to work and you save it, and it's going to reflect on your project plan once you click OK. And that is it. And again, if you want to create a customized project calendar, you come, because what we are using is the calendar that is a standard calendar that comes with this. We are using it. But if you don't want to use this standard calendar, from this dialog box, which is opening now, if you come at the bottom, you see new. You click on new, it's going to open another dialog box where you have to put the name of this calendar as you want to, this customized calendar you want to create for you and their team. Here, create a new base calendar. So here, and can equally make a copy of the calendar. So whichever way, that's it. But here you can create a new calendar and start customizing it to your need. How you want to customize it, I don't know. So, but that is it. If all this calendar doesn't make sense to you, you can create your own. And then the last of this calendar, which I want us to understand, is creating calendar for every team member. That's their resources. So if you want to plan on everybody, maybe understand everybody's is very, very important. It's one thing you need to be understanding as a project manager. You must have, this is the only way you can start doing it, capturing when your team members are going on vacation. In this summer holiday, you find out that so many team members will be traveling out with families for vacation. That's where they plan their annual leave. Another time you see is during festive period like Christmas. You see a lot of people pushing their annual leave in December. You find out that some people will start taking their annual leave from 15th to the end of December. So, and that's why you see so many companies, so many of them tend to close because you find out that almost all the workforce are on vacation. So, to do that, understand everybody, although these days, the HR tend to help us with that, but you should equally plan your own project very well. So you need to go to resources, click on resources here. This is the resources. Then you come back here to the left. You click on resources. It's going to bring the whole resources we have here. We are currently using 2 resources. We have project manager, we have business analyst, we have developer here. These are the 3 different resources, but in use now in this our plan, we are not using developers at the moment. If you want to plan for this BA, all you need to do is click here, or let's say double click. If you double click on BA, a dialog box will show. Are you seeing the dialog box or is it the same story?
No,
The same thing.
Same story.
it's still the
Same
same thing.
story.
Okay, but I captured it on my notes, so you can read it off from my notes. So,
Just keep mentioning it, sir.
okay, it's on my notes and I'm sure. So if you click on BA, another dialog box will come up, and within the dialog box that comes up, you see where they say base calendar, standard calendar. You see a small icon, a small calendar icon. If you click on this small calendar icon, a full dialog box containing the calendar plan will pop up. You click on it, it will pop up, and you see 4. If you look at you see a man here called BA. So if you are working for BA, that is it. So because you selected BA, you see for BA. And then you want to capture this BA's availability, and BA is telling you that from 26th to 30th of August that he will not be available. He will be traveling to one Caribbean island with the family vacation, so don't disturb him. So all you need to do, so that you won't be calling BA, I've not seen your deliverable, submit your deliverable. The young man is on holiday. So you plan this to avoid this embarrassment. All you need to do is ask question, when is your availability? After creating a project plan and assigning resources, is there what you should be asking all the team members that you captured in that project. You call everybody one after the other to discuss their availability for this project. And then the BA will tell you that Florence from 26th to 30th, I will not be available. So mark it on your calendar. All you need to do is you control your button on your desktop, on your computer. You highlight 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 5 days not available. You can argue it. You can say, no, I'm not going to allow that. How can you take up to 5 days? This project will not survive without you for 5 days. I'm not taking it from you. You can say, you can reach a compromise. Okay, no problem. What happens is I'm going to spread this. Also, the 26th and 27th of this August, I will take 2 days for August, and then I'll take the rest on October. Okay, that's okay. You come here, you select 26th, 27th August, and you come on another month, select maybe October, you select 28, 29, 30 of October. You see, they've split this you split this man's holiday, and that is not fair for the young man, but it's fair for you. So you go to non-working days, and you click on non-working days. Once you click on non-working days, it will show that 26th, 27th of August and the 29th, 28th, 29th, 30th of October, this particular BA, Mohammed Sanusi, will not be available. And that's it. You save it, so you won't go and start having a abracadabra with say, Mohammed, why have you not submitted your deliverable while the young man is on holiday? So that's it. And that's how you can use this to plan for every other team member and capture their availability in the project plan. And with that, that'll bring us to the end of today's activity and end of project labor for now. So I think with what you've learned from project labor, you can manage your project, not only manage your project, manage your resources very well. And we'll come back to you for any question you have. And my room is getting dark. I need to put my lights. All right. So we have Ifobe. You're raising your hand.
Yes. Yes. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My question is on project baseline. From the definition of project baseline, which is the initial plan, which will be used as a reference in the future, and is also said is mostly used to measure the real performance of the project against the initial schedule. And you also said that a baseline, you can have up to 10 baselines. So my question is, does that affect the project plan or the project timeline if you're going to continuously alter the project plan? Will that affect the time you will deliver the project or the time you have stated you will deliver the project?
Yeah, that's why you have baselining. So once you have a baseline, another baseline, it means you have a different project plan. The first project plan is no longer in use.
Okay.
So if you have planned to do the work in 1 month and later a stakeholder comes up, I want additional requirements in this my software you are developing for me. I want another screen in this mobile application. That will take some time, and it will take some resources as well. So, meaning another requirement. If you plan to deliver the initial project in 1 month, because of the additional requirements, they need to make resources available, maybe extending the timeline and the funding to pay whoever is going to do that. That is it. That is a different. So you have to, for you to capture this extra requirement, the timeline, you need to, because it comes with another resources tax. You need to add another tax in your project plan. Is that not it?
Yes.
Yeah, you are going to add another tax in here because of the extra requirement, meaning you have another baseline, meaning that the first project plan is no longer valid. You are no longer going to be working with the first project plan, like the first baseline. Then the second baseline, which is the current one we are using, is going to be the current. But for instance, tomorrow you want to look at, somebody want to audit your project plan or your performance and say, okay, the first thing they need to do is to go to your first baseline. Okay, you started this project and it's supposed to end in 1 month. So what happened? How come this project is now ending, say, because of this additional requirement, and this is the second baseline? And if then another stakeholders come, we want another requirement, and it has been settled that they want another, you have no right to deny them what they want as long as they are making provision for that. Then you capture another baseline. That's why they made provision to up to 10 baseline, because you have to be a bit flexible. They are stakeholders, whatever they want, as long as it was properly captured, and provisions are made for it, then you do it.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, sir. This is just a follow-up question to what you just said. Does that also mean that after 10, you can't capture another baseline?
I don't know, but that is the provision there.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. So we have a Honorable show. Okay. Following show is not here. We have Karimot.
Good morning. Hello, sir. I'm here. Good evening, sir.
Okay. You are listening.
The question I want to ask is, how do we, like, if I have a project that I use Project Libre for, now I want to send to you for a review, how do you share that?
Yeah, if you want to send a project, you can attach it as this thing. Me that is going to review it. I will have my own this, and I can open it from my own end and see it. Or you can, it's not in Project Libre, in some other this thing, you can add someone in your project plan which will have access, you know, share it from your project plan. But this is a software. It's just that if you are sending it to somebody to see, whoever you are sending it to see must have a Project Libre to be able to open it. So Project Libre is you can do it that way. So okay. if you go to Project Libre, you will see Save As. Have you downloaded Project Libre?
Yes.
Have you seen Save As?
I'll check that later because
not all.
Yeah.
My system just went off.
Save As there.
So have any of you seen Save As in Project Libre?
Yes.
So meaning that you can save it, and once you save it as a document, then you can send it to whoever you want to send it. But whoever you are sending it to must have a Project Libre installed. So for instance, I'm a project manager and you want me to see a Project Libre, I have Project Libre. So once you send it, I can open the project plan from my own system and see a project plan. So I can send a copy of your this to another person.
Thank you, sir.
So Karimot. Okay, Karimot is no longer interested. Maybe over.
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't know that I did not unmute. Good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening. You've been
So
raising your
yes, my question is, can the Project Libre calendar be integrated into Google Calendar?
I don't know about that, but Project Libre calendar is meant to be worked with. I've not tried it before.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any other question, anybody? You've asked question, or if you answer your question, I will not take question from you again. So what is it again?
Go ahead and answer. Ask the question, sir.
What?
Okay, it's about the calendar. Yeah. While you're planning your calendar with Project Libre, I understand you can plan that side by side with your project plan. But can you plan your calendar after you have made your project plan? And how can you mitigate, it affecting your timeline on, when you're going to deliver your project? Maybe your BA, for instance, your BA, something just came up impromptu and your BA can't be around for his particular, side of the project he's supposed to deliver. And that is going to affect either the critical parts or the timeline generally. So how do you mitigate around that, since you had initially planned your calendar and now you have to replan again?
Then you go to your calendar and edit your calendar.
Okay, but it's going to affect. Will it? Okay, let me just ask the question. Will it affect the timeline which you had initially stated you were going to deliver on?
Yeah, of course, people die. So what if somebody dying and they're first? So you remove the person's from and find another person to replace it. There's nothing you can do about it. You just to document whatever is happening within your project.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Risk are risk. That's why you have risk management. So if anything is affecting your project labor is just for you to plan, schedule your project. It doesn't plan your risk. Project labor is not a risk management. So you have to have a risk plan on how to manage your risk. If somebody is sick, or somebody is or your plan or your this thing, you are seeing yourself exceeding your timeline. Then you capture it. That's why you have baselining. If you exceeding your timeline, the initial timeline is a risk, and it's affecting your project. But you can only capture it when the necessary provisions have been made for you to capture, extend your timeline, like I've explained it originally. That if there is an additional requirement, we've talked about how to capture changes in projects. You need to do the feasibility study, do the impact assessment, and capture the impact and communicate the impact. If they are happy to continue with the impact, then they make resources available. Once that is done, you capture it. All you need to do is go to your project plan and make readjustment. That readjustment is what we call another baselining. So calendar is just working days. It's not a big deal. It's just for you to capture when people will be available and when people are not going to be available. So I will have Favor Felix. Okay, Favor Felix is not. It's not.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Waiting. We are waiting for you.
Okay. Good evening, sir. My question is from the example you gave about the stakeholder. Hello, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
We are listening.
Hello.
We are listening. Is maybe you are the.
Okay, I said.
We are listening.
I said my question is from the example you gave about the stakeholder. If a stakeholder requests to add maybe a new screen on an app for software development, do you need to create a new project plan, or you just fix the new phase with the old project plan that you baseline?
It's the same project, so you don't need to create a new project. It's the same project. All you need to do, although like according to baselining, once you baseline, it's automatically a new project plan. But all you need to do is add that requirement. So, and requirement comes with additional tags. So you just create and add that tags to the project schedule in project labor. When you add additional schedule, which is tags to that, it's going to automatically increase the timeline, and that means you are going to rebaseline. So, are you clear? Okay, maybe you have a network issue, but I think I've addressed your question.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for tonight. Hopefully, with the knowledge you have now, we should be able to, and enough confidence to start our first project by next week. So, yeah. All right. See you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.